Hey y'all, good evening. Tea with the Diva here. In my denim jacket again. Hey Swig Squad. I asked y'all what did y'all want me to discuss as far as story time. I got a lot of interesting responses, but the one that I got a couple times and that I decided to talk about was part 2 of losing my job. Somebody commented and asked me what kept me motivated. Like, did I feel down? What made me get up? And that's an interesting conversation because it was a process. When you work somewhere for 20 years, I was 3 months shy of making my 20th year. I started in June of 1998. I got fired March 1st of 2018. That means June would have been my anniversary. When you work somewhere that long, you got vacations, you got sick time, you out at a certain amount of times, but mentally you got somewhere to go to be whenever that time comes. But once you gone, it's over. And I had to deal with the fact that I was put out. I did a lot of reflecting, and initially it was very depressing. I did a lot of laying around in the bed because, I just felt down. I felt defeated. I felt like I had, not made my family proud. Like I had given up on my children. And because that was their livelihood all their life, pretty much. I think when I started there, my oldest daughter was about 5 or 6. I didn't even have the other 2. I just had one child. So I was pretty much all their lives. So, you feel like you failed your family. It's a lot that goes through your head. I didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Somebody said to me, somebody made a comment to me about, I would have thought you would have had this reaction about your mama. And I just feel like people just don't know what to say. They just don't. When they haven't gone through what you're going through, they just don't know what to say. They don't know how they will feel. So that's why a lot of times when I'm going through things and I'm dealing with it, I don't talk to nobody about it. Not my friends. I talk to my children. That's it. Other than that, I don't really converse with nobody about stuff that I'm going through until I'm out of it. And then I'll talk about it. Because a lot of times people don't know what to say. They don't know what to say. They may make a comment like that. Like it was very insensitive. And you don't know how you would act. You ain't never been through it. But yes, I was down for a while. I'm a pretty upbeat person. I don't let a lot of stuff get me down for a long time. I was down for a long time. Also, what I can say is the people that I did deal with. Now, I didn't deal with management. I didn't deal with directors, but I had a lot of friends that I really love, a lot of friends that really look out for me. My friends looked out. I'm talking about from just throwing me $500 to I had like cash apps every week, like just giving me money. I had a lot of support. I can honestly say that. So the co-workers that really became family to me, they really looked out financially. So I stayed down. I really didn't start looking for a job. I had a little money saved up, not a lot, but just a little. So I was able to pay a couple of my bills up and stuff so that I could mope around for a minute at least. And I probably moped for a good 3 months and then really started really looking for a job, seriously. I didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I had one comment that said that I made the job my God. I made that job my God. I wanted to argue or dispute it, but when I thought about it, maybe I did. Maybe I did. I guess I looked to the job a lot because it took care of me financially. So that was something that I had to ponder over. Like, wow, did I? Because God is a jealous God, and you can't put nothing before God. And if He thinks you putting something before Him, He definitely will take it from you. But I don't think that I looked at it like God, because of course I didn't respect it as much. I didn't look at it as in such a high place. So it was just a comment that made me think. But what got me going is my daughter bought me a MacBook, and she said, "Mom, I'm giving you this so you can start looking for jobs." And so I got the MacBook. I updated my resume. I did start looking for positions. I started applying little places. One day she took my computer and she said, you're gonna go back to school. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back to school. And she said, let me see your computer. So she took the computer that she bought me, and she just registered me for school, and then gave me the computer back and said, here, you can fill out your FAFSA. And the FAFSA is the financial aid form. It's a form that you just got to complete and add your tax information and all that stuff. So that's kind of what got me going initially. That started me back, kind of put me back in the game, because I started feeling better about myself. I started to believe in myself. I started to think of myself positively. When you go through something like that and you've been told, it has been insinuated that you really are inadequate, you don't know nothing, really worthless, it's pointless for you to be around anywhere. You're not adding to anybody. You're not an asset to anything. You kind of start feeling that way. You really do. You kind of, you feel inadequate. You do. You feel like you unworthy. So, I had a lot of that on me. I felt that way. And once I started the classes back, and, I started interacting with people, going through welcome emails and stuff like that. It had been so long since I had been in school. I got excited. I did. I started getting my assignments and, started reading through stuff. And it started making me feel like I can do stuff. I can read. Of course I knew I can read, but I had been beat down for so long. So I was feeling like I can do this. Yeah, this is cool. So I was, excited about getting up, excited about, going to class. It was online, but I still, I was excited. I was excited about interacting. I was excited about completing something. I was excited about obtaining something. And it made me feel like I could do it. So I went hard too. I went hard. I probably finished with like a 3.8 GPA. I did really, 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 really good. I did. I got scholarships. I would get messages from my instructors. I really did really good. So that's what, really kind of picked me up. And then I started applying for jobs. So the job that I ended up landing right after I lost my job, it was, ironically, it was in another facility that my old job leased space so that employees could work in that same facility. Of course, I worked for another company, but of course I saw a lot of people that I knew because I've been there. So I knew a lot of people. I went there to work. It was the other company that I worked for. It was way more laid back. I was able to do my homework. They would give us tasks and then just tell us to do them. So you'll get like 12 things to do, and where you'll have to follow up or do some work too. So I would be done like with my work like at about 12 noon, and then I would really do my homework afterwards. And my management, the people that I reported to, they weren't even in Michigan. They were out of state. So this one incident, I had went out for lunch. So we had an hour lunch. I went out for lunch, and when I was on my way back, it was a bad accident on the freeway. So I was like 5 minutes late. I'm running, trying to kill myself to get back to my floor so that I could email my supervisor and explain to her why I was 5 minutes late from lunch. So I gets back to my floor. I threw my purse down. I threw my jacket down. I hurry up. I log into my computer. I'm standing up. I can't even sit down. So I'm standing up. I'm typing like, hey, I'm so sorry. I went to lunch at this time. I got back at this time, but there was an accident on the freeway, and I'm really, really sorry. And if I would have known that, I would have left earlier. It was just like I gave a whole a whole explanation, like a paragraph. So my supervisor didn't even respond to like 15, 20 minutes after. And she was like, what is all of this? And I'm like, well, that was just the reason why I was late from lunch, because of course that's what I'm used to, micromanaging, right? So I'm like, yeah, I was late, and I just wanted you to know it was an accident, and I was trying to get around, and I couldn't get around, and had I known that, I would have just left her. She was like, girl, do you think you got to explain something to me when you late from 5 minutes from lunch? And I'm like, no, I just, and I was like, and I'll let it reflect on my timesheet because I don't want it to. And she was like, girl, if you put 5 minutes, that you was 5 minutes late on your timesheet, I think we're going to have to fight. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, this is what I'm used to. She was like, and you got PTSD. You got to. She was like, because if you had to explain to somebody why you was 5 minutes late somewhere, she was like, I could see if you were like 15, 20 minutes in, okay, I need you to call me and tell me that you're going to be late at least so I won't worry about you. She was like, but 5 minutes? I just don't want you to, treat us like we're really like that tight about time. It's not that serious. We do know that things happen. And it was just so refreshing to hear that. Like, I just breathed. It's like I took a sigh of relief. And I was just like, for so long, that's how it was. I had to explain. If you was 2 minutes off of some time and you couldn't like recall what you was doing and where you were, that was gonna be a write-up. You couldn't just be out of wherever you was supposed to be and it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes off and you don't even know where you were or what you was doing. Like, you better be able to tell somebody something. But she was like, please don't do that. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to have to feel that way. And even like, that's dangerous for you to drive that anxiously, trying to rush and get here and get back. She was like, I just don't want you to do that. I don't even like the way that might have made you even look like road rage. What did it look like? Did you have road rage on the freeway? And we were just laughing and cracking jokes and stuff. But I was really serious. Like, whew, thank you. It was a sigh of relief. Like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, it was just what I needed. The position that I got after that was just what I needed. It was exactly what I needed. I worked there for a while until I got sick. Yeah, to answer your question, I really did. I felt down. I didn't feel like somebody. I felt like nobody. I felt like I had failed my family. I felt like I was unworthy. And as women, this is what I wanted to say too. As women, especially single women, I think that we are much harder on ourselves because we are the head of our family. So we do feel like that we have to measure up. But you know, what's going to happen is going to happen. What's going to be is going to be. And we can't continue to beat up on ourselves and always, you know, feel inadequate, like we don't belong or like we just not enough because of something like that. I shouldn't have ever adopted like the rumors and the way that they felt about me, because I didn't feel that way about myself. But because it was said for so long, that's just how I felt. I felt the same. I felt that way because that's what they said about me. I felt like I was inadequate. I felt like I was unteachable, remedial. I couldn't pull myself out of that, especially once they kicked me out. I'm like, everything they said about me is true, right? I was able to get myself back. I feel a lot better. Of course I feel I'm whole now, but I just want us as women, as single mothers, I feel like we really hard on ourselves because we might be even comparing ourselves with other people or comparing ourselves with who we were before. You know, we evolve and we change. And things change about people all the time. So, you know, as we get older, you may not work as fast. Everything may not come to you as sharp as it did. And you're not going to be able to compare your older self, your evolving self, to your younger self, because it's not going to look the same. And you're always going to feel worse because it's not going to add up. Yeah, I hope this helps. I got better. Everything gradually I graduated. I did get my degree. I wasn't able to graduate because I graduated in COVID. COVID was a bad motherfucker, wasn't it? I graduated during COVID in 2020, so I wasn't able to walk, but I do have my degree. I felt so good about that. I felt so good about accomplishing that. That was a really big deal for me, especially after being fired. Yeah, that was what I felt. That was what I took away from it. I hate that I ever felt that way about myself because I don't believe that I'm inadequate. I don't believe that I'm less than. I don't believe that I'm unteachable. I am somebody because God don't make no junk. And that was that. I ended up going out, socializing again. Life became normal again. That's all. Life just became normal. Until it didn't. And that's a whole nother story. I gotta discuss that part too. But yeah, so during this time everything was cool. So yeah, that was my story about the aftermath of my termination. Thank you all. I thank you all. I love you all. My new subscribers, thank you. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Keep everything. I thank you. I do. I really can't even say it enough. Thanks so much. This is Tea with the Diva. See you later, Swig Squad. Until next time.